So Barack Obama came out. He's talking about income inequality. He's about 6 years too late, but at least he's doing it, right? So I'm so torn every time he does something because he spends the first 6 years of his administration in total bed with the banks. He still is. And then he comes out and says, hey, we got to fix this inequality. What do you think's causing it? So anyway, so that's going to be next week. We're going to get on him for that. But this week, Candy Crowley had a panel discussion on the minimum wage, right? Because people want to raise the minimum wage. And there was a former Mitt Romney advisor on the panel. And here's what the former Mitt Romney advisor had to say. Ready?
You know, this goes to the growing gap between the very rich and the poor, and the idea that someone could work hard full time and still be below the poverty level or near it and needing federal assistance seems wrong to a lot.
Right, and a lot of times it becomes about the big question here is economic opportunity and how we address it. Oftentimes when you have the federal government or others step in and they start to raise or they start to raise the minimum wage, what happens is you take away or reduce some people's opportunity to grab that bottom rung of the economic ladder to get the opportunity.
Yes. So, see, when you raise the minimum wage, you take away that bottom rung of the economic ladder, and now people will never be able to get a job ever. If you take away the lowest paying jobs anywhere, then some people will never, ever be able to earn any money ever in the economy.
Because I can't get to that rung?
Because you can't get to the lowest rung on the ladder. So that's the theory. The theory goes if we raise the minimum wage, that employers won't hire those people because they won't be able to pay those workers the higher minimum wage. So
they just don't have the money, Jimmy.
They just don't have the money, and that implies that the work that the employer needs done won't get done because they just can't afford it. So all that work that all those minimum wage people used to do aren't going to get done anymore.
Disappears.
That's the theory. That's what they're saying. That's the theory. So when you go into a restaurant and you look over and you see a dirty table of dishes, you go, oh, it's because they raised the minimum wage. They can't afford busboys anymore. They can't afford it. It's because they raised the goddamn minimum wage. So now these jobs aren't getting done.
You have to have garbage on the table.
Yeah, there's garbage. So now when they feel they're going to serve me lunch, they have to get a new plate. They can't afford dishwashers.
They can't wash the dishes.
They can't afford busboys. They have to get new silverware and new plates. Every customer can't afford it. Okay.
I couldn't get any lunch today because every restaurant I went to, there were no waiters there because they couldn't hire anybody.
Couldn't hire anybody. You can't.
Restaurants were open and everything, and they had food, but because of the minimum wage being raised, they couldn't hire anybody.
They couldn't serve the food.
Yeah, this won't get it done. This won't get it done. I like that, and you always hear these anecdotal stories of these guys. I was talking to a small business owner, and he said he usually hires 3 or 4 kids over the summer to help with some stock work in the stock room, but now he can't afford it. He won't do it. So he just won't have that work done. He'll just have his stock room not get fixed. Just have stuff all over the place. And he won't. He said screw
Close
it.
down his business.
Close down. I'm just going to close.
Yeah. Better to close down than to pay somebody $10, I think.
Yes. So there's your B. So he goes on he has a little bit more to say about the minimum wage.
The other part of it is the larger economic opportunity, which is, are we going to address it just through the minimum wage, or are we going to do it with much more fundamental reforms that the economy needs in order to grow?
So he just starts saying nothing.
Oh, but
he goes, He goes, no, are we going to fix this with just the minimum wage, or are we going to do things that help the economy grow?
I'm guessing tax cuts.
I'm guessing tax cuts for millionaires.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess.
The job
not only
creators.
Wages increase, but also the greater economic opportunity across the spectrum of the economy.
Yeah, we want wages to increase and greater economic across the spectrum. We want everybody to have cotton candy, and we want everybody to have. This is what we want for people. We want everybody to have pretty girlfriends and rich boyfriends. This is what we're looking for. But what's your plan? They never have a plan. Cut taxes for millionaires. That's their plan. That's their plan.
Yeah, they want to create opportunity by making sure nobody can afford to buy anything.
Yes.